For today's video, I'd like to pose a question. It's a question aimed at myself as much as it's aimed at everyone else watching, and if I'm being entirely honest, it's a question I might not have a full answer to. But it's one I've been thinking over ever since getting back from my trip to Disneyland. I'm not shy about my distaste for Dinoland USA in the Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World. I think it's a low-effort area of the park that falls below the standards I've come to expect from Disney, and it inherently doesn't feel like a Disney experience. On paper, I feel the same could be said of Paradise Pier over in Disney's California Adventure. So why am I okay with Paradise Pier while I hate Dinoland USA? I guess the first thing I need to do is clarify why this question is even a question. For those who might not have been to one park or the other, Paradise Pier and Dinoland USA share quite a lot in common while being two pretty unique experiences at the same time. For one, they're both lands within a theme park that are based around older forms of amusement that predate Disney. Over in California, Paradise Pier is a recreation of the Victorian coastal boardwalks from as far back as 100 years ago. In Florida, we have Dinoland USA, which is in essence a throwback to the type of state fair and traveling carnival that has been around long before Disneyland. In terms of offerings, they're also pretty similar in that they have their e-ticket draw with California Screamin' and Dinosaur, as well as a number of lower quality rides you wouldn't really associate with Disney. Paradise Pier has the swings and the Ferris wheel, while Dinoland USA has Primeval Whirl and a Dumbo clone. Lastly, they're both relatively new in terms of Disney history, with Paradise Pier opening in 2001 and Dinoland USA getting that Carnival edition around 2002. So I don't think nostalgia of the lands themselves factor into any of this. So with all of that said, I couldn't help but wonder why I really enjoyed my time spent at Paradise Pier, yet I'll usually avoid Dinoland USA. I have a theory that I'd like to share. You see, I believe it largely has to do with not only my age, or our collective ages if you agree with me, but the age of the amusements depicted themselves. The Victorian boardwalks that Paradise Pier idealizes come from a time that, I think it's safe to say, nobody watching this was alive to experience. While we still have plenty of boardwalk amusements today, that aesthetic of the white wood and the exposed bulbs at night originates from as far back as the early 1900s. On the flip side of that, Dinoland USA emulates the very style of traveling fair that we can actually still find today. It's a setting that many of us can say we've experienced ourselves. I wonder if that difference in experience is the core of what makes these two lands feel so different. After all, it's much more difficult to apply rose-tinted nostalgia to something we can still experience today. Inversely, maybe it's easier to apply that rose-tinted nostalgia if we've never truly experienced it to begin with, but instead simply go off of what we've seen in films or television or through stories we're told. When we look at something like Main Street USA, we're looking at Walt's nostalgic ode to his childhood life in Missouri. He felt the drive to recreate that optimistic look back at Main Street because at the time it was an experience that was quickly disappearing around the country. Perhaps the same could be said of the boardwalks of Paradise Pier. However, we don't have to go very far to find the inspiration of Dinoland USA. So why does this even matter? I suppose it's partially because I'm interested in hearing what you all have to say about the lands, and part of me hopes that maybe asking this question would shed some light on what could be done in the future to improve on this. With that theory in mind, does it mean that in 50 years or so, kids will look at Dinoland USA with awe and nostalgia for something they've never experienced, similar to the way I kind of do right now with Paradise Pier? Is the solution that perhaps land shouldn't be designed around experiences we can still find today? If you look at the Magic Kingdom, those lands are either fiction or some form of romanticized versions of an era that is long gone. I guess it might not matter. After all, Paradise Pier will be undergoing a transformation into Pixar Pier, and there are already rumors going around that Dinoland USA might also see a complete transformation. Either way, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you're on the complete opposite side of this and you love Dinoland while hating Pixar Pier. Maybe you love them both, or maybe you hate them both. Let me know in the comments what your 2 cents are. I want to turn this into a larger discussion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.